Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webcast titled Executive Premier Workshop Sneak Peek. My name is Jerry D'Ambrosio. I'm a senior instructor here with VectorVest, and I'd like to welcome you all to today's live event, and it's my pleasure to host today's webcast for you. Today's guest speaker is Brian D'Amico. Brian is the Manager of Educational Services here at VectorVest. He's been with VectorVest for over a decade now and has taught seminars on stock and option trading both in the U.S. and overseas. Before joining VectorVest, Brian was a public school teacher, and he has brought that teaching knowledge and background here to VectorVest, so we're really lucky to have him with us today. At the end of this webcast, we'll open it up for some questions. If you do have a question, you can feel free to submit it at any time using the question box in the upper right-hand corner of your computer screen. If that question box minimizes, just simply click on the orange arrow to make the question box reappear, and we'll try to get to as many questions as possible as time permits. So it's now my pleasure to welcome Brian to the microphone. Welcome, Brian. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much, Jerry. I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. Got to give you a lot of credit. What is today? Tuesday. And everybody's taking time out of your schedule in the middle of the afternoon around lunchtime to view the webcast. So thank you, everybody, for being here today. We're very excited about this Executive Premier Workshop. We have held them for several months now. We've sold out basically every one that we've had. So I think you're going to see why we've been selling these events out and see why it'd be beneficial for you to come to these workshops. So it's great to have you here today. Congratulations on showing up. Now, before we actually begin, some of you might be new to VectorVest. You might be looking at VectorVest for the first time. So I'd like to give you a little background on VectorVest before we start. VectorVest was actually, we've been in business for over 25 years now, and those of you who have been with us probably already know why we've been around for so long, but for those of you who are new to VectorVest, we've been around for over 25 years now because we provide the best stock market guidance available anywhere. One of the things that we truly believe that every investor should know, you're looking at right here on the screen. Our founder, Dr. DeLito, started VectorVest with these beliefs, that every investor should know what a stock is really worth, how safe it is, and when you should be buying, selling, or holding it. Because he couldn't find this information anywhere else. So he created a product to deliver this information in an unbiased way to Main Street. So these are some of our core beliefs. What VectorVest does for you is we're going to take 8,000 stocks, over 8,000 stocks, and we analyze them for you. Then we sort them and rank them, and then we allow you to graph them. So this sorting and ranking, you're going to see a part of that in today's webcast, but we do it every day, and we base it on a few core indicators on value, safety, and timing. All right? And every single day, we're going to give each stock in our database either a buy recommendation, a sell recommendation, or a hold recommendation. And you're getting that every day. Now, one of the things that sets us apart from other places is this belief that you're looking at right here, is that you should only be buying rising stocks in rising markets and selling falling stocks in falling markets. A lot of advisors out there, you might have heard the same thing. They'll tell you, oh, buy this stock. It's on the way down. You can get it on the cheap. Let's dollar cost average. But how low can a stock go? So we believe the opposite, that number one, you should determine when the market is rising and buy rising stocks when the market's rising, because those stocks are doing what you want them to do. And then when the market's falling, sell those falling stocks, or if you like to short the market, short those stocks. And what we do at this executive workshop is we take this information and we transfer that to you. In fact, one of the things that we say about this workshop is that it provides 10 years worth of VectorVest experience, 10 years worth of market experience to you in just 2 days of intense hands-on training. And this is a key thing here, hands-on. And you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about as far as hands-on. So in 2 days of intense training, we're going to deliver 10 years worth of knowledge to you and about all of those beliefs to make you a better investor. Whether some of you have probably been with us for less than a year, or maybe you're checking us out for the first time, I bet some of you in this webcast have been with us for 10 years. And we go ahead in the chat box, and I'd be interested to see. Just chat in. Are you new? How long have you been using VectorVest? I'm always interested to see how long people have been using VectorVest. Sometimes I see some things in there like 10 plus years. All right, so great. I see Mel, brand new. Thomas, 8 to 10. I'm guessing that means years. 4 years, 6 years, 3 years, 6 weeks. All right, Kelly, good to have you with us. Karen's brand new. Good to have you with us. Helene, less than 6 months. Another 6 months, 1 year, a year and a half, 5 years, over 5 years for Bob. David, 3 weeks. Good to have you with us. I mean, so there's a wide variety of people in this room, and you can see that everybody can benefit, or you will see in a minute some of the things that you're going to benefit from by using VectorVest. So whether you're new like Mel or Karen, or you've been with us for 8, 10 plus years like Thomas, or somebody else is in there, Bill has been with us over 10 years, I guarantee you're going to walk away from this workshop with some valuable information that you may not have known before. And like Jerry said, I've been with VectorVest I just had my 12-year anniversary, believe it or not. And I've spoken to a lot of our clients that actually attended this workshop, mainly because I've taught at each one that we've had so far. And there's so many compliments about how much easier it is now to basically develop a trading plan and make money in the market now that they have tools to do so. So we're going to thoroughly cover every bell and whistle featured in VectorVest 7. And it's all about learning how to make consistent profits, right? And when you leave this workshop on Friday, you're going to have a solid base to start implementing a successful trading plan come Monday. All right? One of the ways we're going to do that for you is everybody's going to receive a course book. All right? In that course book, it's going to feature both lecture-based discussions along with hands-on exercises to accompany each presentation. All right, and this is what separates this workshop from other investment seminars you might have attended. All right, at some seminars, there's hundreds of people in this huge room, right? And you never get to speak to any one of the instructors on a one-on-one basis. The lectures that are at this EPW, they are a little shorter. All right, so they range from 30 minutes to maybe 45 minutes, and we leave plenty of time for these exercises. All right, so there's always 1 or 2 instructors actually walking around the room in addition to the actual presenter, and they're going to help you with each exercise, and we're going to make sure that everyone in the class is following along and staying together. All right, I stole this quote from Jerry. Jerry likes to say, we leave no man or woman behind. All right, we're not going to move on with an exercise until everyone is caught up. So it's a very personal, very one-on-one type of atmosphere. We get to know each other by name, and you're definitely going to learn something while you're there. Now, in a moment, we're actually going to take a look at the agenda, and I'm going to jump into the VectorVest product and show you some of the things that you're going to learn. But one of the things that really stands out to people when they attend this workshop is the actual training room. They're in awe of this training room. So let me show you what the training room's like. All right, so what you're looking at here, I'm going to take you on a little virtual tour of the facility, all right, to give you a little bit of a feel for the experience that you'll have. So first off in the morning, you're going to be picked up at your hotel, or some of you might drive in, but let's say you're at a local hotel. So we'll pick you up at one of the 2 hotels that we work with, and we'll have you driven to the training facility probably around 8:30. And the transportation company that we've gotten outstanding, what's the word I'm looking for, feedback about them. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you dropped off, and you're going to be greeted in this reception area by the instructors and the receptionist. You'll get the course materials, and then in the reception area there's going to be a nice little breakfast for you, bagels, things like that. You can sit down in any of the plush leather seats that are here. There's going to be an HD TV showing, usually CNBC, to keep you up to speed on what's going on in the market. You get Starbucks coffee. You get the idea. It's a nice reception area so you feel comfortable when you first walk in. And then you can take your breakfast if you like, and you can walk it right into the training room. All right, so here's the training room when you first walk in. You can sit wherever you want. There is not a bad seat in the house. The training center is complete with, you can see here, 2 rows of training desks. And these have got to be some of the most comfortable chairs. I had my wife sit in one of these chairs one day, and she's like, "Where did you guys get these chairs?" So I wish I could take one of these home. They're the most comfortable chairs you're going to sit in for any kind of workshop. So you can see there's room for 20 students here. You got an ideal viewing angle of the instructor's screen, which I'll show you in just a second. So you got the instructor will be standing up here, walking around up front. I mean, you're so close to the instructor, you can almost touch the person. All right, so you're going to have a nice seating spot wherever you choose. All right, so just to look at the room for another angle, the picture I showed just a moment ago was walking in through the main doors back here. This is just looking at the room from the other corner. All right, so in the back corner, just looking forward, and you can see part of the screen up here. So you can see each station has an HP touchscreen desktop computer. It's got a 23-inch display. The monitor can be tilted. You can see here they're laying basically flat, so it doesn't block any view of the screen. All right, we control the heating and cooling, so don't worry about being too hot or too cold. We can adjust it on the fly, not like if you go to a hotel and you're usually freezing your butt off in the middle of a room. We can control the heating and the cooling for you. And again, I mean, there's not a bad seat in the house. So if I flip over here, this is looking at the room from the other corner. And look up in the front. We've got a custom-made 24-foot projection screen. We've got dual projectors. In this example, we've got the VectorVest product on the right-hand side and the slides over on the left. And in this image, this is just the finish, the end of day 2, where we had a couple of people finishing up their grand competition. And you can see sometimes we actually stretch VectorVest across both screens, and it's pretty impressive to look at a 24-foot graph. So you can see there's not a bad seat in the house. You can see those screens from probably across the street. All right. Now, if I go to the next slide here, this is what we're talking about as far as hands-on, one-on-one experience that you're going to get. With a 20-student maximum, every student in the room will get the attention that you need in order to get the most out of the workshop. And one of the things that we can discuss things going on at the workshop, any ideas that you may have, like searches that you've been tweaking. That's one of the great things about the breaks, too, the breaks and lunches. Since it's such a small group of people, we can get together and we chit-chat about the ways that you invest and how to use VectorVest specifically for you. So we get into great conversations during the breaks and lunches as well. But you can see we get so close to everybody, we're able to make sure that nobody falls behind in any of these exercises. Now, I mentioned the agenda a moment ago. I'm going to show a slide here of the agenda, but one of the things I want to do is actually leave the slideshow and actually get into the VectorVest product so you can see a little bit about what we do. So let me just quickly run through the agenda on the slide, and then we'll jump into VectorVest. So we start off with the VectorVest system. We need to start off with a strong core foundation on what VectorVest is all about. But as you notice, a lot of people joining this webcast today, we had a good chunk of you that are new. And the same thing is true for this executive workshop. I remember people showing up who were still on their trial to VectorVest, or they signed up for the workshop and then they bought the trial. So they were coming, knew nothing about VectorVest, so we've got to start off the event with the VectorVest system. So even the people who have been with us for 10 years, they said they learned things after watching that presentation. But then from there, we actually go through each part of the product, teaching you not just how to use it, but how to use it effectively. All right, so let me go through all these things that are here and actually show you a little bit in the VectorVest product. So let me switch over to VectorVest here. After we teach about the VectorVest system, you see here we're going to start off with the Home tab. All right, we talk about the Home tab, and then we'll get into the stock viewer. So on this Home tab, the main thing that we're trying to cover here is market timing and how we're going to display market timing to you and how to use it. All right, we actually have a whole nother presentation in the workshop on market timing, but we give you a little insight here right on the Home tab. But we're also going to show you how you can do different things with the Home tab, like take some of these gadgets and move them around. We're going to show you some of the different gadgets that you can add to the Home tab to make it customizable for you. All right, so we'll show you some of that. Then after we get done with this Home tab, we're going to go straight in to the stock viewer, because we want to show you one of the best places to go to find stocks to buy. So not only are we going to teach you what this stock viewer is all about and what it is, we'll show you how to move things around, what all the columns mean, of course. All right, but we're going to talk about how this basket here is a great place to start when you're looking for stocks to buy. All right, and how not only do you get stock analysis, but information on industries as well. So we're going to teach you how to use the stock viewer. From there, we're going to go over to this watch list area. Actually, before we get to the watch list, one of the things here, let me just show you the PowerPoint. We're going to go from the stock viewer to graphs, because I missed a key point there. Right from here, we're going to go into the graphing section. So if I pull up a graph, actually let me graph a bunch of these stocks here. Of course, we're going to teach you how to use a graph, how to check boxes and how to use all the buttons down at the bottom. So we'll teach you navigation things, but we're also going to teach you some techniques of cherry picking. All right. We're going to teach you how to analyze a graph. Over on the right-hand side, there's a bunch of different layouts. There's a bunch of different layouts over here, and one of the great things is we're going to teach you how to use. There are certain layouts in here that we could spend some time on, and this is one of the things that a lot of people love about this workshop, at least the last couple that I've gone to, where we focused on these cherry-picking techniques. And we're showing you how to use these layouts to find stocks to buy. All right, so that's one of the benefits of going to the course is we're going to teach you how to cherry pick. And then once you've owned a group of stocks, we're going to show you how to manage them. All right, we're going to show you how to manage them by building a watch list. And actually in a moment, Jerry and I, we're going to walk through an actual exercise and show you what that's all about. So I'm not going to give too much of that away. So you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about there. And then after we do the watch list area, then it's all about market timing. Remember earlier I said one of our core beliefs was to buy rising stocks in rising markets, right? Well, we want to show you how to determine when the market is rising. And in the chat box, let me know what kind of investor you are. Would you consider yourself aggressive, maybe prudent, conservative? Are you more focused on retirement? How would you classify yourself as an investor? All right, so we got Jack says prudent, a bunch of prudents all in a row there. Jack, Bill, Lloyd, prudent, 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 prudent. Barry says prudent to aggressive. Oh, there's Barry. Barry and I were emailing earlier today. How you doing, Barry? Let's see. Moderate to aggressive, prudent to conservative. Well, it looks like a bunch of the people in this webcast today are prudent. All right, so what we're going to do at this executive workshop is we're going to teach you how to use our market timing signals and show you which ones to focus on for you. All right, which ones to focus on, because we've got market timing signals, and if I come in here to our graph and switch it to market timing, we've got market timing signals in here. And we've got things RT kicker combo, GLB/RT. Some of you who are new to VectorVest might not know what any of this stuff is. So we're going to teach you which ones focus more on the aggressive side, which ones focus more on the prudent to conservative side, so that way you can say to yourself which one you should focus on as an investor. So we're not only going to teach you about these timing signals and which ones are aggressive to prudent and conservative, we're going to teach you some techniques to determine when the market is bottoming and when the market is topping. All right, so how to determine not only when the market is in an uptrend, but when the market is starting an uptrend off a bottom, kind of like right here. And if I pull this back out a little bit and get a whole bunch of years here, actually, why don't I just show the one that almost everybody remembers. Let me uncheck these guys here. Yeah, how to determine when the market is coming off a bottom, and going up. So not just when the market is trending up, but when it is coming off of a bottom and moving up, and also when the market is nearing a top. So when the market is toppy. So we'll talk about that during our market timing presentation. All right, so if I go back to the slides here, we're going to talk about business sectors and industry groups. We've had several strategy of the weeks about that recently in the various countries that we cover. But we're going to teach you how to use industry groups and business sectors to help you find not only rising stocks, but the rising stocks that are in rising industries and that are in rising sectors. All right, and then we're going to take a tour through our UniSearch tool. You can see everything over here in the afternoon of day one goes into the UniSearch tool. If I go back into VectorVest, our UniSearch tool is right here. We call it the most powerful search engine created by man, and that's not meant to be just a joke to get everybody to laugh. Say, oh yeah, whatever, it's just that's the most powerful search engine ever. We really believe it, and we haven't found anything else out there like it. I mean, it's powerful and it's easy to use within a couple of clicks. Since a bunch of you said you were prudent, how about I just open up the prudent folder, and look at this. You got a whole bunch of searches to match your investment style. So we're going to talk about the searches that are in there, highlight some of the top performing searches, and show you what they do, how they run, and look how easy it is to, like, for example, top 20 newbies. Look how easy it is to run a search. I know it's a prudent search. It's finding stocks that are brand new to the top 20 list in the stock viewer. All right, so you see how easy it is to find stocks. In this executive workshop, we're going to show you what a lot of the most popular searches do. We're going to build searches for each type of search that's in the UniSearch. So we've got things called strategies. We've got trends. We have searches that look for stocks that are hitting a new high or a new low. And we've got these delta searches up here. So if you're looking for stocks that are having an earnings jump or a jump in their growth rate, or a change in their relative timing, which is a proprietary indicator, that's what the delta search is, where they come in. So we're going to show you how to do that as well. All right, and then towards the end of day one, for those of you who like little snacks, and I think we actually have a little bit of wine, and a lot of people dive into that and have a nice little glass or two to get them ready for the competition. But towards the end of the day, you're going to have a nice little reception with hors d'oeuvres, but you're going to get ready for that competition where we're going to challenge you to use the tools that you learned that day to develop a search that performs the best. All right, you're going to develop a search that performs the best, and we're going to give you a time frame to test it. I'm going to show you the prizes that you could win in just a minute. And one of the great things about these executive workshops is basically whatever is created at that workshop belongs to the people at the workshop. All right, so if, let's say, the top 3 people create great searches, we then email that criteria out to everybody at that workshop so you can learn from other people who are there. So you're not only at the workshop to learn from the instructors, but you get to learn also from the people who are there. And people who are there, some of them have been there 8, 9, 10 plus years, so you can learn some tips and tricks that they've been using to make money with VectorVest. All right, so that's day one. So then day two, we're going to recap in the morning. We might give you a little quiz to see if you were paying attention in day one. So we'll recap in the morning, but in day two, this is where we're not only going to teach about some of the special tools that are in VectorVest, but what we're going to do is we're going to walk you through some of the tools that show you how to start to develop a trading plan. All right, I saw somebody put in a question earlier about what's the difference between this and actually the workshop that we're having this week called Trading as a Business. That workshop takes building a trading plan even further. All right, and turns it into basically turning your investing into treating it like a business, as the name implies. Here we're going to show you the tools that you can use and show you how to use them to develop that trading plan. So in the morning, we'll start off with the back tester. So you're going to take the things that you used in day one, some of those searches that you used that you found to be top performing during a certain period, and then you're going to build them into a back tester to see how they did not only during that one time period, but how they did during multiple time periods. All right, so again, let me go into VectorVest here. So you're going to come over to the back tester tab, and in here, you're going to back test an idea, and you're going to be able to build a trading plan. For example, you'd be able to come in here and say, all right, now this is with one of our plugins called the Auto Tester, which we're also going to show you how to use. We're going to say, all right, I want to test out my search, maybe that, let's say, top 20 newbies, the one I showed you before. And I want to see how it did during every confirmed market call that VectorVest had. All right, so I'm going to test it during the confirmed ups. So I got to come in here to the prudent, top 20 newbies. We'll show you how to fine-tune this search using stop criteria. And then you say, all right, when VectorVest gives a confirmed down call, I'm going to go to cash. Now I want to test this out for not just this 1 year. Let me go back 3 years. So we're going to show you how to do this and lead you through how to do this effectively with the back tester. Because there's kind of an art form to fine-tuning a trading plan using the back tester. All right, so that's the back tester. The next step beyond that is once you have an idea that something works in the past, you want to test it going forward with paper trading. So that's when we're going to show you how to build a portfolio and set it up to work on autopilot, where you can build a portfolio, tell it what search you want to use, what stop criteria you want to use, and have it send you alerts when stocks meet a stop criteria. So we'll show you how to do that. And then a couple of the plugins to VectorVest, like the Watchdog and the Derby, a lot of people don't know about them, so we want to teach you how to use those. All right, so especially like with the Watchdog, I'm going to be doing a webcast tomorrow, actually. And in that webcast, I'm going to talk about the Watchdog in a little bit more detail. I'm going to give you a glimpse of what it can do, but I'm going to show you an example of how I used it recently to place it. It alerted me of a stock that had a MACD crossover, and MACD is a technical indicator. And I'll show you that it helped me place a trade which generated about 15% in a day. All right, so in this executive workshop, we're going to teach you what the Watchdog does. We're going to build a Watchdog together and set it up so that way you could do it when you get home. All right, and then that leads us towards the end of day 2, and this is probably the most important presentation of the day, of the 2 days actually, the situational investing. And that's where we're going to teach you what type of investing you should be doing during different situations in the market. All right, situational investing. What things to do when the market's going up. What types of signals to look at when the market's going up. What things to do when the market's going down. The different things that are available to you, like going to cash, shorting the market, and things like that, which all leads to this grand competition. And again, this is where we're going to challenge you to use all the tools that you now have to develop a trading plan that performs the best during a longer time period. It's like a 3-year test window. And once again, we're going to share the winning entries with the class. So you could walk away from this class with some ideas of things that you might want to implement on your own. All right, so now speaking of the competitions, here are the prizes that you could win. On day 1, the first place winner would get $500 savings certificate, which you can use towards any VectorVest product or service. And that includes future seminars. Second place, $250, third place, $125. Now for the grand competition, if you come in first for that grand competition, you're going to walk away with a $1,000 savings certificate. And second place, $500. Third place, $250. So it's not chump change. I mean, great prizes to win. I mean, theoretically, if you win first place in both day 1 and day 2, you can walk away with $1,500 worth of savings certificates. All right, and with 6 different prizes and only 20 people at the event, your chances of winning one of these is pretty darn good. All right, so it'll help you, pay for a subscription going forward. All right, now I talked a little bit about one of the exercises that we do at the event, and I've actually pulled an example right from the course material to give you a feel for what it's like to be at the event. Let me show you a little bit about what it is, and then Jerry's going to come in a moment, and we're going to demonstrate what it's like. We're going to go a little quicker than we normally would because of the time frame that I'm looking at. I tend to have gotten a little wordy here today. But this is what you're going to look at on one of the big projector screens. And what you're looking at here is also going to be printed in color in your books, which is great because when you get home, you have these books that you can flip through as a resource and say, oh, how did Brian and Jerry build that watch list? And then you have this book to show you exactly click by click how to do it. So you can see in a moment, Jerry and I are going to walk through all of these steps. So you can see they're labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then on the corresponding page, you notice 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it'll help you click by click do each of the exercises that we cover in the workshop. And you can see it's pretty thorough. Most of the exercises have these follow-up questions. I'd like to say all of them do, where we're going to stop during the exercise, double check to make sure you're following along and that you understand the main concepts. And that, you can see I'm flipping through it rather quickly, but in a moment, Jerry's going to walk me through this exercise. So Jerry's going to be the instructor. I'm going to pretend to be just like anybody at the event. And here we go. So let me get back into VectorVest. And Jerry, go ahead.
Okay. First thing I want you to do is click on the Viewers tab.
All right.
And on the left-hand side, bottom left, click on My Watch List. There's a My Watch List folder.
All right.
It'll highlight it in yellow. Then what you want to do is right above those folders, click on the New Watch List icon. It's the first little icon at the upper left.
Okay.
Let's give this a name. So we're going to call this 00-EPW. Once you give it a name, click on Add.
There we go.
So we've created our watch list. We put the watch list inside the group that we want to file it in. And now we're going to add stocks to it. So up at the very top, you'll see a long white bar that says Add Symbols. Click in there.
Okay.
And we're going to start typing in some symbols. Type in MSFT for Microsoft, comma, McDonald's, MCD, comma, CSCO for Cisco, comma, KO, Coca-Cola, comma, JNJ for Johnson & Johnson, comma, XOM, CAT, WMT for Walmart, T for AT&T, and DIS for Disney.
Okay.
And then click either two things. You can click on Add or just hit the Enter key on your keyboard.
All right.
Okay. So that populates our watch list with those 10 stocks. So the first thing I want you to do next is to change the date at the upper left. Above the company and symbols, you'll see the date, the current date of 9/17 at 1:04 p.m. Click in there. It'll drop down a calendar. Change the date to September 9th of 2010. You'll notice that the 9th is highlighted in green. That was a confirmed up signal on that day. So we're taking these stocks back to a confirmed up, September 9th.
Okay.
Next thing is resort the watch list by relative timing. And to do that, you just simply click on the column header labeled RT. That will bring the stocks to the top of the list that are in uptrends. It'll bring the stocks to the bottom of the list that are in downtrends. So how many stocks have an RT of greater than 1, Brian?
Well, if my math is right, it looks like we've got 8 that are greater than 1.
Okay, if 8 are greater than 1, how many are less than 1?
There's 2.
Okay. And which stock is at the bottom of the list?
All right, let's see. It's Cisco. Let me
Okay,
just pull
so
this up.
Cisco is at the bottom with an RT of 0.80, so it's in the strongest downtrend as of the confirmed up signal on September 9th. So at the upper right, we're going to quick test these top 10 stocks. So just click on that drop down arrow. We'll quick test the top 10. And that's going to automatically bring it to current. You'll notice, not bad, 41% total, almost 14% annualized. But we did have a confirmed down signal about 6 or 7 months later on March 14th of 2011. So change the end date to March 14th of 2011. And folks, I know it may seem like we're going a little fast here. Just for time purposes, we will be going 50 times slower than what we're doing here at that EPW. We're going to go at a very, very slow pace, making sure everybody's keeping up. Let's see. Okay, so as of March 14th, 2011, how many winners do we have?
We have 8 winners.
And how many losers?
2 losers.
Okay, and what's the average annualized rate of return?
Let's see, 21.4.
Okay, and what's our worst performer out of the 10?
It is Cisco.
Happened to be Cisco, the stock that was at the bottom of the list and the strongest downtrend at the confirmed up was our biggest loser there. So, okay, let's close that quick test window.
Oop.
So what we're going to do is we're going to right-click on Cisco. We're going to get rid of that stock from our watch list. So we're going to delete it after you right-click on it. Delete the item. That'll bring us to 9 stocks. We want to fill a portfolio or a basket of 10 in our watch list. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the stock viewer, click on stock viewer. We do need to change the date to September 9th of 2010. We want to look at the stocks that appeared in the stock viewer on that day. And on that day, Brian, what is the top stock?
Masabi Trust.
Okay. So we're going to click on Masabi, and we're going to drag it, click on it, and hold your mouse down and drag it into that 00 EPW watch list. Okay, we'll change the date again to September 9th of 2010. And this time, what's the top stock that appears on that day now?
Well, now, do you want me to sort it by RT again?
Sure.
Let's see. Well, now we got Masabi both ways, both by VST and by RT.
So not only, folks, is this a exercise in navigation and how to do certain things, but what we've just demonstrated here is we have a confirmed up signal. You have a basket of stocks. Resorting them by RT brings the stocks to the top of the list that are in uptrends, brings the stocks to the bottom that are in downtrends. Well, you want to start to weed the garden, so to speak, and get rid of the stocks at the bottom of the list that may weigh your portfolio down. We did that. We took away Cisco. We went into the stock viewer. Like Brian said, that's the best place to start. When you get a signal to buy stocks, it's the best place to start to buy. We took the top stock from that list, put it into our portfolio. It's in a nice strong uptrend. We'll quick test the top 10 now, and that'll bring us to September 14th. And just sort by percent price change. There we go, Brian. So now how many winners do we have?
We have 9 winners.
And how many losers?
Just 1.
And what has that done to our average annualized rate of return?
Oh, we're now up to 27.6%.
Right. So the Cisco stock that was in a downtrend was a 13% loser. We replaced it with a top VST stock, Masabi. It wound up being just about an 18% winner for us. Let's see. Okay, I think that's it with this exercise. So hopefully you get a feel, folks, of what we're going to be doing with each of the presentations that Brian showed you in the agenda. Each presentation will have an exercise, and trust me, we will go a lot slower next month during these exercises. And Todd Schaefer and I believe, will be 2 of the presenters at the EPW. So hope to see most of you there. But I'll turn it back over to Brian, and he'll wrap things up.
All right. Yeah, thank you very much, Jerry. As Jerry said, we would go a lot slower at the event and make sure everybody's following along. But you can see for each exercise, we're not just going to show you click by click how to do things. We're going to teach you techniques. We're going to say, hey, this is what we're doing here. We're going to take a list of stocks, show you what happened in one scenario, and then say, all right, well, what if I had gotten rid of the worst stock and replaced it with a better stock? How would things have changed? So all the exercises that we do not only teach you navigation, but it's going to teach you functionally and practically how to do things within in the product. All right, so let me get back into the slides here, and you can see everything that Jerry did is right here in the workbook. All the questions that he asked, so that if you wanted to go back in time, when you get, not go back in time, if you wanted to go back to the exercise when you get home, you're going to have them right here to walk you through how to duplicate it. All right, so I wanted to include this when we get several testimonials from these executive workshops. For example, FB from Columbia, he wanted to write us and he said he's attended many seminars over the years, but the EPW, which is the Executive Premier Workshop, was the one that I'll always remember. The material was well presented, the personal attention from the staff, and the large close-up screens and personal computer on each desk were fantastic. The printed material for take-home study makes it possible to review each and every section of the 2 days of presentations. Thanks to all the VectorVest staff who made the EPW a great learning experience. So, like I said, we don't leave anybody behind, and he pointed out here that we really make sure that nobody's going to fall behind. The next EPW that we're going to be holding, we wanted to make sure we gave people plenty of time to schedule time off if you need to from work. It's on October 17th and 18th. All right, the Executive Premier Workshop, as it says here, it offers the fastest, most convenient way for you to learn how to make money with VectorVest. Here are some of the perks of attending, but the biggest thing is you're going to learn how to make money with VectorVest. All right, down here, you can see you can save $700 off the regular price. All right, we have our standard price, which is $3,000, and even that is, we really feel that's not enough for the amount of education you're getting while you're there. But $3,000, early bird price is $24.95. Your special price for attending this webcast today is an additional $200 off of that. So you're saving $700 total off the regular price. So it's only $2,295 to attend the 2 full days of training. But you've got to order within the next 24 hours to get that additional $200 off. All right, and this early bird price doesn't last forever. So if you want to get this special rate of $22.95, you got to call within the next 24 hours. We've sold out, from what I remember, almost every one of these executive workshops since we started them back in October of last year. All right, so make sure you sign up quickly. I wanted to show you 2 other testimonials to let you know that, hey, people love these things and you're going to learn a lot at these workshops. Tay Tollefson said the workshop was first class and all times very professional, educational, and insightful, as was the staff. The interaction with the fellow workshop members and the educational staff was invaluable in learning the ins and outs of VectorVest's entire system and processes. I would highly recommend the EPW to all levels of VectorVest knowledge. All right, so those of you who are new or who've been with us less than 6 months or even 10 years, all levels, according, Tay is saying it here, you're going to get something out of this. And here's a testimonial from Mary. I remember Mary sat in the middle of the back row, beautiful smile in the back of the room. She said, my purpose for attending the EPW was to get a deeper hands-on experience of using the VectorVest tools and to come away with greater confidence so that I might become a more active manager of my account. How many of you would like to do that with your trading account? Actually be the one to manage your own account. What I learned in the workshop was an amazing wealth of information on each of the various aspects of the program. Each of us received personal guidance at our individual computer workstations. In all, both at the workshop and with the company in general, I've been deeply impressed by the quality of the teaching, the generosity with which the information is disseminated, and the extraordinary power of the VectorVest program. So once again, this special webcast offer is only valid for the next 24 hours. You've got to call this number to order and get that additional discount. All right, so it's $700 off the regular price. You can come for $2,295. Now, in addition, there's another bonus for those of you who are coming to the executive workshop, because we have an options course on Saturday, and a lot of people make a weekend of this. All right, so they come on Thursday, Friday for the executive workshop, stay for Saturday for the options course. So if you come to the executive workshop, you can then come to the options course for only $295, which is $700 off the regular price. And so you can come for $295, and at that options course, we teach options from the ground up. All right, and we end that options course with a thing called the Payday Portfolio, which is a trading plan, a very specific trading plan on what types of options to place, when to place them, and the whole idea is to get paid, basically to generate income for retirement. All right, so if you come to that executive workshop, if you call this number in the next 24 hours, let them know that you'd also like to come to the options course, and you can come to that for only $295. All right, at this time, I saw Jerry has actually been spending a bunch of time answering questions in the chat box. So let me open it up. If you have any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and chat them in. Jerry, go ahead. If there's some common questions, let's handle them now.
Okay.
Let's move forward here.
Actually, the first question that came in, and I'm sure you didn't want to cover this in the webcast, but Bob asked, what's the difference between the EPW and the Trading as a Business workshop? Can you just open up our website, Brian?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
And click on each of those because we have like pretty much a full page or a full page website on each of those courses. So if Brian just clicks on Trading as a Business.
Yep, you see we're having that one actually this weekend, and this is sold out, so you'd have to wait till the next one. But if you wanted to learn what the Trading as a Business workshop is, you can just click on it. And this one is actually a 3-day event, so 3 days, and you can transform an interesting hobby into a profitable business. So you can see there's a ton of information here on the website. I'm not going to sit here and read it to you like a book on tape, but you can see the agenda is listed there as well. So if you want to learn what the Trading as a Business does, plus we also have a Trading as a Business sneak peek webcast, which we hold prior to the actual event. So you can stay tuned for that as well.
Okay. Helene asked, where is the workshop held?
Well, we're here it's just north of Charlotte, North Carolina. We're about 30 minutes north of the airport. So that was actually another question we usually get is what airport to fly into. So you'd fly into the Charlotte airport, and we're about 30 minutes north of that airport on just regular traffic. We're in a nice little area called Lake Norman, which is usually where all the football players that play in Charlotte, they get their little not their retirement homes, but their nice little houses on the lake. So it's a nice little area up here north of Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay. Let's see. Chandra asked just a question regarding how much of an initial investment would one need to get a benefit from, I guess, the VectorVest system maybe, or this particular course. Chandra asked about a $100,000 account. What about somebody with a $10,000 account? If you want to just touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to benefit no matter what. I mean, learning how to invest it's like teaching somebody to fish, right? I mean, you learn how to fish for a lifetime. So here we're going to teach you how to invest and how to use the tools within VectorVest. So even if you have a smaller account, over time throughout investing, the idea is you're going to build a smaller account to a bigger account. So you're not always going to have a small account. Now, if you have like a $2,000 trading account, you're going to spend $2,000 on a course. It might not be the best first step, but I mean, if you've got set aside $10,000 for investing, that's plenty to get started and start making some money in the market.
Right. Let's see. David just asked, will this course work for users of VectorVest Canada?
VectorVest 7, which is the platform that we use, functionally it is the exact same thing as what you use in Canada. Now, of course, the stocks are different, and some of the market timing rules are slightly different. So actually, I guess the best way to say this is I'd say typically about 20% of the class, each time I've taught it, has been made up of people from Canada. We've had a few user group leaders come down. You probably know Stan Heller. He's one of our consultants. He's our main consultant and director up in Canada. But Wasim Syed came down. He loved the course. Harold Nicholson came down. So we've had user group leaders from Canada come down, and I'd say, like I said, about 20% of the room is usually made up of people from Canada, and they rave about what they've learned at the course.
Okay. We did get some questions, and I think we should start wrapping things up, Brian. If you do have additional questions, they may come an hour from now or maybe tomorrow. Just call our support department. We're always here to help you. And you can see the special offer that Brian has there. And again, I'll turn it over to Brian to close things up. So I hope to see everybody next month. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. We can almost guarantee that you're going to love what you see there. Everybody I've talked to, and like I said, I've taught at each one of these that we've held, they rave about what they've learned at the course. Not only the facility, but the content of what they've learned. So you're going to learn a lot when you're there, and not just little tidbits of where to click, but you're going to learn how to use the product effectively. And you've got some great instructors going to teach at this one coming up in 6 weeks. You got Todd Schaefer, you got Jerry, who is the moderator today. So you're going to have some great instructors. I believe there's also going to be a third person, Kathy Onan. She's going to be there. So you're going to get a great mix of instructors there. But you got to call in the next 24 hours if you want to get this additional discount. And here's the 800 number right here. We look forward to having you. And like Jerry said, if you have additional questions, please call us. But make sure if you want this extra discount, give this number a call in the next 24 hours. We would love to have you there, and look forward to working with you in the future. Have a good day, everybody.